Now, I hate being a negative, awful person when we get a bunch of cool things and a huge update and it's all amazing, right? And I love pretty much everything they're going to do. I think all the heroes are cool. Mizuki looks really cool. A lot of the UI changes are cool. There's a lot of really sick stuff in here. Like, I seriously love all the things they're doing. I love the lore focus. It's awesome. But because I'm a design person and I like talking about systems, I like talking about hero design, it would be wrong of me to not talk about sub-role and passives. And then if I have to talk about them and I don't like them, it's going to be negative. Let's just get into this. First off, I'm going to go over each one by one, what I like, what I don't like, how it's going to work, how it's not going to work. And I don't have the exact numbers and details because it's not out yet. So everything could change and you never know how it's going to land actually in game. But if they're releasing it like this on a dev blog, it's going to be something similar to this. And so that's something to be prepared for. And then also, once after I've gone one by one, I'll explain why sub-roles and passives to me just don't work. And I am the sub-roles guy. I like the idea of classes. I made a whole thing about Overwatch classes. Okay? So don't even... I think the passives are a bad idea. Let's just go one by one. Bruiser. Bruiser to me feels pretty freaking crazy. It's going to benefit a character like Orisa a lot, and Malga, and to be all of them. I think making it harder to kill these heroes is just not a good idea, and that's exactly what this is. Like, you can read into all of the specifics of this, but these characters are harder to kill. They just take longer to die. That's it. They just take less damage. They essentially might as well just have more health. Like, they just take less damage and then can escape easier when low. Critical is really low, so it's not that big of a deal with movement speed, but I think this is going to benefit a character like Orisa a lot, because if Orisa gets really low and then she has spin, she can spin out at an insane speed probably. And Roadhog, unless he still has speed up on take a breather perk, because obviously all the perks are going to change, he's not going to even get out probably from this, because he's going to heal himself past critical. He's not going to see the movement speed benefit. And this is just doing less damage. It's pretty good. It's not the most egregious or awful design in the entire world, but it's not great. I don't personally love it. Initiator to me is marginally useful at best. Apart from Wrecking Ball, you are not in the air for as long as you'd think on these hypermobile characters, right? Like, I think they think because these are dive characters, you're in the air for sustained amounts of time. In reality, you're going to be in there for maybe 1 second, 2 seconds. And if it's lightly healing you, so if it's healing you like 10 per second, you're going to notice no difference. You're not even going to really feel the fact that you healed. Ball could be the only one that's going to notice it, because he might just grapple up and just stay there and get a bunch of healing. So I really don't see what this one does. And this is where my sub-role passive problem kicks in. Bruiser does a lot and benefits all the heroes extremely, whereas Initiator doesn't seem to do really much of anything to people, because they are saying lightly. If it was sort of like your movement speed ability, honestly, if they had the later Survivor one, if they had movement speed ability kicks in health regeneration, I'm down. I'm down. I can see how that's going to work. But this one, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Stalwart, whatever the hell you're supposed to say. It's basically just the old tank passive. And I think it benefits Queen and Ram more because they have move speed. So a character like Queen or Ram being able to run at you and then take less of a slow and not be knocked back is more beneficial, because these characters are actively able to close the gap when you are ready. Whereas a character like Reinhardt or even the new Dominant character, right? They don't have move speed. I mean, Reinhardt's charge, but they don't have move speed, so then trying to close the gap, they're actually just going to get... They still get punished for it. Like, they're still getting slowed and knocked back. It's not immunity. But yeah, I don't know. This one's not terrible, though. This one's not terrible. We'll see how it plays out. That one's not terrible. It's so whatever. But the idea is, if the other tanks don't have this, I think it's going to be a nightmare to play them, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, if the other... Like, almost all the tanks kind of need that. But, yeah. Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter is where I freaked out for a second. But I am pretty sure it works based off of a damage done. It's like 0.75% of the damage done is the cooldown. So for instance, Widow hitting 300 health is going to reduce the cooldown the most, whereas Sojourn hitting a single pellet for like 6 is not gonna do much. Which should make it work decently well, but I do think this is again a significant buff to a lot of these characters, and some of them benefit a little less. Hanzo, for instance, in my opinion, and even Widow, because for them to hit a headshot, it means they killed someone. Someone died. So the movement cooldown is going to be less beneficial to them, especially Hanzo, who's just got a jump. I think Hanzo would have been better suited, I don't know, somewhere else maybe. And even like a character like Cassidy might benefit a ton from this as well, because it's a reload. His movement speed, his movement ability gives something. It's not just a movement ability. Sojourn, also, Slide is such an integral and important cooldown on Sojourn that her getting the reduction is crazy. And she can also hit this a series of headshots the most. She can hit the most headshots. Right? In theory, you could go bang, 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 bang with your primary. And now, even if it's based off of only the damage done, she's still the only one that's going to notice the difference it's going to make. In my opinion, right? So that's where, again, cyber passive, sometimes they just benefit more people than others. And this one feels really, really strong. This one feels strong. I'll be honest. Anyway, Flanker. Flanker's fine. I think Flanker's kind of just normal. It's again going to benefit other characters more. It'll always benefit the slightly more mobile character. So for instance, Tracer is going to be able to get to these packs easier than some of the other characters. So she's going to notice the difference it makes. There will also be a benefit to a character like Vendetta, who has 275 health, because that means minis are going to, I don't know how much more it restores, but that means minis are going to heal for more, and they're going to be more similar to how a Mega might feel. So Vendetta's going to notice a benefit from that, whereas the other characters might not as much. So Vendetta, Reaper and stuff. But then also, I feel like a character like Reaper is not seeing the use of this nearly as much as the other ones. So that's a bit odd. Like, I think Reaper is not that Reaper can't flank. I think when I did this video, I put him as a skirmisher, which is my version of flanker. But I think Reaper definitely is able to get away with a lot more without needing to go get health packs. So, yeah. Specialist, eliminating an enemy briefly increases your reload speed. So this is where I have, like, a weird problem. In my opinion, this buff is not... These heroes are specialists, right? Apart from, like, Soldier. In my opinion, Soldier's a sharpshooter, but whatever. But he just does... But again, the reason Soldier's not a sharpshooter is because the passive for sharpshooter doesn't benefit Soldier. But it's a whole other thing. Eliminate enemy briefly increases your reload speed. This would benefit Ashe. This would be really good on Ashe. Ashe would love this. I don't feel like Bastion loves this nearly as much, because a lot of his kills are going to come from Sentry mode, right? Where he has infinite ammo. Junkrat is, again, also doesn't probably care that much about the reload speed. I could go without an increased reload speed. Same with Sim, and with Torb. So it feels like this is just thrown in here, and I feel like this specialist category is kind of weird. It's a really weird passive. And I think there's other characters that would benefit more from an increase of the reload speed. Like, I genuinely think all the sharpshooters would benefit from increased reload speed more than the specialists would. Like, by a landslide. But also, it just baffles me. It's the most balanced passive. The characters in here clearly aren't specialists, like Emery and Soldier 76. But then also, this passive isn't a specialist. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. We'll leave it. And Recon is clearly just a made-up class. Like, let's grab the passive first. You detect enemies below half health through walls after damaging them. Obviously, it's going to be pretty good on, like, Freya and a couple other characters. The reason this isn't that beneficial for Sombra is because if Sombra's damaged someone and they've gone to half health, right? And she hasn't killed them. She hasn't killed them. She then gets out. She's then out of the fight for 6 seconds. It doesn't matter if she can see them through the walls. She's out of the fight for 6 seconds. She's not going to do anything. So, bit odd. I think Recon's weird. Let's first off go with this. Echo and Farah are flankers. Like, they're flankers. These are not recon characters, right? These are not recon characters. Freya is the definition of a sharpshooter, right? And then Sombra is a specialist, like, without a doubt. Then you have to look at it like this. The titles of the thing doesn't actually make a difference. Like, the names of the subclasses, in my opinion, are really inaccurate to the heroes that are in them. But then you have to look at the passive and go, okay, which passives benefit the heroes? Because that's definitely how they did it. They definitely are thinking, we're going to have 4 passives, and which heroes benefit more from them. I just think this recon one doesn't need to exist. I think we can just split up these guys again. So you could put Sombra in Specialist, although she doesn't really need a reload speed buff. She should be in Flanker. Put Sombra in Flanker. Without a doubt, put Sombra in Flanker. She would benefit the most from a health pack thing. Put her in Flanker. Put Farah in Flanker as well. Put Echo in Flanker as well. I don't care if you put it all the way up. That makes more sense. And then put Freya in Sharpshooter. This recon category is completely made up just so that they could split the cost up more. Completely a made up one. And then this is actually a pretty strong passive, but I just think it's less beneficial on the characters that it's on than it could be on some other people. Like, it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly, but we'll see how it plays out. It's just, we just made up a 4th class. Let's be so honest. Let's be so honest. I didn't even use 4 classes. What I did in my video, I did Marksman, I did Controller, and I did Skirmisher.
There's quite a lot here. We've got Echo, Genji, Farah, Reaper, Sombra, Tracer, and Venture.
Yeah, it's similar to what they've got here. Just move over the Sombra, Farah, Echo. Whatever. I feel more. I feel just actually really personal about this because I just wouldn't order it like this. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then yeah, support. Tactician's pretty good. Tactician's pretty freaking strong. It's gonna be pretty good with Lucio building beats quicker. It does cap out 25%. I know that, or 20%, 25%. It's still good because, like, without a doubt, it's not even a passive you have to think about. You just get more ults. Like, you just get more ults. Even if you're a good player and you're ulting frequently, which means you're ulting really close to when you get your ult, you're still starting your next ult from 10 or 15, 20, right? Which means you just are going to have ults more. You're just going to have ults more. And B is crazy good for that. And Nano is crazy good for that. Right? Okay, if I have to play my own little self-glaze here again, I personally think Tactician, Medic, and Survivor are the worst ways to do this. I just don't get what they even mean. Or like the way they're split just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's just feels random what heroes are in what. Anyway, Medic's pretty normal. It's very weird Kiriko is in here, because Kiriko is not a medic. I don't know why she needs healing on her weapon. I think that's going to be really insane, personally. But we'll see. If the numbers are fine, it should be okay. Like, heroes shouldn't become unkillable, but we'll see how it works. Moira feels like she already has self-heal, so I don't really know what this comes from, and yeah. Survivor, using a movement ability, activates passive health regeneration. Survivor's odd, and I think will need to be played to see who benefits the most from this. But it will seemingly impact a hero with a shorter cooldown. So, for instance, Brig Bash is about 4 or 5 seconds. That's short. That's short to just be healed. Whereas Wu Yang Shift is like 10. Like double that. It takes that long. Alari is like 7-8 seconds. I don't know Mizuki's cooldown. Juno's boosters are also like 8 to 10. No, a guy like Brig is going to benefit from this way more, and especially because she also uses. It's weird. Also, heroes like Alari, Wuyong being in here, it makes no sense because these guys play long, selfish angles anyway. So why the hell would they care about this? Like, Alari literally sits on an off angle with her pylon, healing herself, and shoots, and then she will just use shift to move to the next spot. Like, it's not like she needs this. She's not, it's not even gonna, like, buff her. She's just gonna have this for no reason. Wu Yang sits on a medium off angle, shoots people, plays far away, and then he might shift to rotate. But he doesn't necessarily need this health regeneration thing. Mizuki and Brig at least makes sense because these are characters that will play aggressive and then will like to use a movement cooldown to get out of a fight and then require the passive health regeneration. Whereas the other ones are just not getting that much out of it. It just doesn't really make any sense why these guys are here. I would just order support so much better. You can have Medic be a thing where it's like Life Weaver, Mercy, Moira, right? But then you've got to think about mobility. I think you got to order it more like okay, who are like the marksman supports? Who shoot people? So, okay, Ana, Bap, Zen, Ilari, put Wu Yang even in there. And then you got to think, who moves a lot? Okay, Lucio, Kiri, like Jetpack Cat. These are characters that would benefit from a passive, like the movement ability. Like what if Lucio Amp gave him the health generation, Kiriko TP, stuff like this? It just feels like these characters are ordered really weirdly across all of them. Anyway, sub-role passives, in my opinion, will not work because you cannot make a passive for a group of heroes that will inherently not buff one hero more than the other. A hero will always benefit more than the next hero, and that is bad for balance because then you've got to balance around a passive instead of just making these characters good on their own terms. You have to be like, okay, well, Sojourn's benefit is because I'm telling you what's going to happen is that we're going to play the first 2 weeks. Sojourn is going to benefit a shit ton from this, and then they're going to nerf Sojourn's slide cooldown to increase the cooldown. They're going to make it like 5 seconds more because she's building slide too quick. But that's because of your passive, not because Sojourn's slide is too short. That type of thing is going to happen. I'm calling it now. I'm putting all my money. They're going to buff someone or nerf someone because the perk is giving them too much. Like the reload speed. I bet you someone here is going to get their reload speed shorter, like increased, because they're getting too much of a reload. It's just weird, and that's why I think sub-role passives don't work. I like the idea. I want to split the classes up. Like clearly, I want to split the classes up. I've been doing this for ages, right? Like I've always split the classes up, but I just don't think they need passives. I don't think they need passives, and I think the passive needed a little more care if they were going to do them, and they need to be way softer, way softer. I'm talking stuff like Flanker moves slightly quicker. You move slightly quicker. Okay? Bruiser maybe gets, I don't even know, a smidge more. I was going to say lifesteal, but that might be broken. Right, you've got to think smaller. I think. I just don't like sub-role passives, and I think a lot of these don't work. And again, I also think they're categorized wrong. I also think the names are wrong, and they're categorized really. Okay, I'm done. Regardless, I am excited for the season. Like, stupid excited for the season. But I just felt, as a designs guy, I have to sit here and tell you that sub-role passives are not a great idea. And we're going to notice the difference.